Do you need to understand fast English spoken by native British speakers? Then this video is for you. You're going to hear a real-life conversation between two native British speakers that takes place in a city centre on a bank holiday, which is a national holiday. That means shops and offices across the UK will be closed. First, simply listen to what's being said. Don't worry if you don't understand everything, because after the conversation, we'll go through it all in detail, explaining what was said and why. You'll also get a few pronunciation tips, so that you can be confident when you speak to locals. Then the best part, as you get to practice what you've learned by taking part in that conversation yourself. There's a free guide to today's English lesson that you can download in the description, but if you're already a member of our community, this will be sent straight to your inbox. Hi, I'm Steve. Let's do this.
Excuse me, sorry to bother you.
No problem, how can I help you?
You wouldn't happen to know where I could find a chemist that's open, would you? It's the bank holiday, and I've had no luck so far.
Oh, finding a chemist on a bank holiday is like finding a needle in a haystack. Most will be shut for the day. Let me have a quick think.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I've already tried a couple, but no joy.
Right, hang on a mo. I'll check my phone for you.
That's dead kind of you. I didn't think to look online earlier. I've just been walking around hoping for the best.
No worries, let's see. Here we go. There's one open just down the road, Boots on Bold Street. It's showing us open until 5 o'clock today.
Bold Street. Right. I'm not too sure where that is, to be honest.
No problem. I can tell by your accent that you're not local. It's not far. Just head back up this street the way you came, and when you get to the big church, St. Luke's, take a right. That's Bold Street.
So I go back the way I've just come from until I see a big church, and then I take a right. Got it. How far down is it?
Not far at all. It's about halfway down, on your left-hand side. Big glass windows, blue sign. You can't miss it.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for your help. I was on the verge of giving up.
It really was no problem. I'm sure they'll be able to help.
Thanks again. Really appreciate it.
No worries. I hope you get what you need.
Cheers.
Now let's take a few minutes to go through that conversation in detail, explaining some of the words and expressions that you might not have heard before. It started with the stranger getting the locals' attention in a very polite and friendly way.
Excuse me, sorry to bother you.
Notice the use of excuse me, not excuse me. This is a far nicer way of pronouncing it. Excuse me. You can find out more about using this very useful phrase by watching this video on the channel. Excuse me was followed by sorry to bother you, which is a nice way of apologising for interrupting someone. To say this naturally, we use two schwa sounds. That's a little sound that's really common in English. The first is to take the place of the O in to, so that it becomes t. And the second replaces the at the end of bother, so it becomes both. So it's not bother, it's both. So the whole thing is sorry to bother you. Sorry to bother you. You try. British people have a reputation for being very polite. And one way we do that is by not asking questions directly. In the conversation, the stranger could simply have asked, "Where is there a chemist that's open?" but instead asked indirectly by starting the question with, "You wouldn't happen to know," then the question, and then finishing with a question tag, "Would you?" This means the question was,
You wouldn't happen to know where I could find a chemist that's open, would you?
that might seem a little strange, but native British speakers often wrap a question up like this to make it sound less aggressive. Try asking these questions. You couldn't tell me the time, could you? You don't have any money, do you? You haven't got a spare hat, have you? You heard the idiom like finding a needle in a haystack, used to explain that something is very difficult or nearly impossible to do. And that a lot of shops or offices were shut for the bank holiday. Shut here is used to replace the word closed. It's very common in everyday English. The local used a lovely expression, let me have a quick think, meaning give me time to think about it. This is a really useful expression, especially if you add hang on a mo, which means wait a moment. You also heard the word dead, replacing the word very in the phrase dead kind.
That's dead kind of you.
Again, this is really common when describing things. This restaurant is dead good. This car is dead fast. This journey takes a dead long time. The stranger said that they had had no joy, which is another way of saying they had had no luck. When he started giving directions, the local used the word just. And when it's used at the start of giving directions, it means that the place is easy to find and you shouldn't get lost, or as we heard, you can't miss it. Which was just as well, because the stranger was on the verge of giving up, which means they were about to give up. Remember that these and lots of other words and phrases are explained in the free guide. Just click on the link in the description. Now it's your turn to practice taking part in that conversation. You'll be the stranger asking for advice, and your words will appear on the screen as you need them. Remember to pause the video if you need more time, and for the best results, speak out loud. No problem, how can I help you? Oh, finding a chemist on a bank holiday is like finding a needle in a haystack. Most will be shut for the day. Let me have a quick think. Right, hang on a mo. I'll check my phone for you. No worries, let's see. Here we go. There's one open just down the road, Boots on Bowl Street. It's showing us open until 5 o'clock today. No problem. I can tell by your accent that you're not local. It's not far. Just head back up this street the way you came. And when you get to the big church, St. Luke's, take a right. That's Bowl Street. Not far at all. It's about halfway down, on your left-hand side. Big glass windows, blue sign. You can't miss it. It really was no problem. I'm sure they'll be able to help. No worries. I hope you get what you need. Improve your English even more by watching this great video. I'll see you next time.